So this evening, it's almost 10:30, but the weather seems still very bright. You can see things clearly, although breeze little bit cold, but it's really good, feeling good. And I normally come out and do the little bit of a walking meditation. And it's been a couple of nights that I couldn't hear any birds or any other animals' cries or callings. Quite interesting. It seems that the animals or birds, they have their time. After 9 o'clock, they all go to sleep. So there is no sound of calling one another. So they have a natural way when to go to sleep and when to wake up. But as a human, we don't have that time scale, or the time that we should wake up and the time we should go to bed as a regular. There are thousands or probably millions of people going out in the night to fulfill their duties, working out in the factories and the offices. And there are people just busy playing games and listening to talks, watching movies all night. And most of them will sleep in the afternoon, after daybreak. And this is not the human nature. We are also part of the animal world. We are also a being. The physical body is similar to any other animals. This physical body needs to be fed, needs to be fed, needs to be looked after. And similarly, the animals also fed their body and looked after. And they have a clock time to go to sleep and wake up. But for us, as the modernity developed, modernity taking control, we become a part of this production and reproduction. We consume what we produce. So we become simply one of a knots in this cycle of reproduction. And if we are not part of this reproduction system, we will be kicked out. And this is what the theory Karl Marx told over 100 years ago. And now it is. We are. And this is the reason why after this coronavirus ends, probably, hopefully, or if not, at least the lockdown ends, and back to work, and definitely millions of people lost their jobs, they will not be part of the system of creation or the reproduction. They are kicked out. And they are not just kicked out from the jobs or the production system. They are consumers for some times. So being a consumer, consuming what has been produced, and you be part, and as long as you can support, you will be still a part of that system of production and reproduction as a part of a consumer. But the very moment when you cannot be part of this consuming or the reproduction system, your value is no value. The value decreases or lost into zero. And that is the reason why human nature or human beings in this modernity are so heavily involved in this production and reproduction. And unfortunately, with this virus, millions of people become a victim of it, going into the darkness of this life. Like the sun goes down, leaving the darkness on earth. So as the lockdown ends, the darkness creeps in millions of people's families. Nevertheless, there are compassionate people, compassionate organizations, different faiths and different groups, different communities are helping one another, giving supports in this difficult time. It's like a light at the end of the tunnels that we can see through, and there is still a hope for the survival, and that hope gives a greater hope and chance to find the new light after the corona, new light to be part of the system, to be part of the, not just the consumer, but in a production or reproduction chain. So the world seems very beautiful, and yet as the modernity creeps in, or as the world moving towards or moving forward, we all have to be part of it. And we can see this uncertainty everywhere. It is not just uncertainty of the job, not certainty of the income, not certainty of the life. Our own life is so uncertain, like the weather, hard to predict. It's up to us to understand and use these moments skillfully and mindfully. It seems very negative and pessimistic to think about this uncertainty. But when we ponder carefully and reflect, we can see and we can realize that this is not a pessimistic way of thinking or a negative, but it is mindful living and using or apply every moment in a very skillful way. A lovely night, a lovely moment, a lovely breath, and lovely life. A beautiful life, beautiful nature, beautiful moment. The moment that we can enjoy, the moment that we can smile, the moment that we can talk to one another, the moment we can kiss to one another, the moment we can hug to one another. And this is the moment. What a wonderful moment. That we can feel the breeze, we can feel the air, we can feel the love, we can feel the connections. What a great moment that we have, moment after moment. Enjoying this moment. Each breath that we take, each words that we speak, each glance that we gauge, each sounds that we hear, each things that we eat, it shines. It shines above us and gives us such a wonderful moment, wonderful, beautiful enjoy, the moment of peace and moment of appreciation. When we reflect in this way, sometimes we feel that our heart is so cold, feelingless, empty, hopeless. But yet, when we ponder on it, we feel gladness, full of love and full of hope. And that's again uncertain. So the realization of these, such an uncertainty of everything, gives us the moment to be smiling to ourselves, to be enjoying ourselves in the moment that we have. The moment is here and now. And everything defines from here. It's you, it's me. To decide whether I want to step ahead or step back. Do we want to walk forward or stay still there? And this night, some of you must be very tired and sitting on a couch watching movies or watching Facebook, playing on the social medias. And as the time passes, there is desire to go to bed. And now it's up to you. You have to decide whether you want to move or you want to stay, remain there. And this defines for the future. So, it's a beautiful night. And we define this night to be beautiful or not. We define this night whether to be awake tomorrow or not. Beautiful. The moment the freedom and we came alone and we will go alone. Throughout this time in between coming and going, we have faced so many things. We have made so many friends, so many relatives, beautiful memories and beautiful things, and yet we cannot take with us. We have to leave behind. Cows and buffaloes may leave their horns, may leave their heads to decorate, but as a human, we leave nothing on earth apart from good or bad deeds that we have committed. There are millions of people dying every day, and within that millions of people dying, only 1 or 2 people are well known or known in the history. And that's simply because whether they have done very good things or they've been very bad. And their names remains, and they will be remained. So does to us as well. It's up to us what we leave on earth after we left this earth. I remember when I was a child, my head teacher pulled my hair from my neck, from my upper next to the ears, and told me that don't be burdened on earth. And ever since I had a dream or the thought to do something and I can leave, and that was the driving force. Writing in articles, writing in poems, even when I was very young. When I remember before I left the school, one of my poems were published in one of the children's magazine called Muna, and I was so thrilled and I felt so happy, thinking that now if I'm dead or if I have to die, there is something that I have done, and there will be somebody will remember me in the future. I am no waste anymore. I have done something good for the earth. I am no burden for this earth at all. And that was the driving force. Later, after becoming a monk, I had so much opportunity to do good things, and as I have published few books day by day, it gives me satisfaction and ready to leave without any guilt of not doing anything for the earth, for this Mother Earth. And as working for the good and happiness of many, I felt that I am ready for this death. I have no fear of it at all, because things that I have to do I have done, and I am no more burden on earth. I remember a few years ago when I was traveling back to Aberdeen, and the flight from Germany, connection flight from Germany, one of the engine broke. And we were uncertain that we could make it for the landing, and everybody went very quiet, and announcement was to be staying quiet, try to find a place to land. At that time I had a thought and I reflected on that, and I had no regrets, and I was so ready to embrace this death with the mindset that I have done all the good things and I am no burden to anyone, even to the Mother Earth. So I can embrace this, and I was ready at that time. And even these days, again and again, I reflect on this, just getting ready. Sometimes there is a small sense of a fear in my mind. What if after die will be? There is a big if emerging from bottom of my heart, and sometimes that generates the fear of a death. And again I looked at all around. It's simply empty all around. There is everything I can see, I can feel, I can talk. I admire these things, and at the end, once I am gone, these doesn't exist to me. So many things it was here, and it's changed, and it will be changing. And I will be moving on to somewhere, something. According to Buddhism, reborning in one of the heavens or one of the hells, one of the realms in the 31 planes of existence, which I normally compare with the different countries, with the different cities and the villages. We do not know where we are going to be ending up in this samsara, in these realms. So every day, every breath, when you reflect on death, it gives you kind of a ticket to the next journey, next destination. The ticket that we have got it on the way when we were born, but the destination hasn't been issued. And every time when we reflect on that, we're closer and closer to define the destination, that where we will be, where I will be. And this destination based on my thoughts, my physical actions, and the way I speak. And so beautiful to think of. So wonderful. Heart just shrinks and yet blossoms with it, like a lotus flower blossoms with the sunlight. Heart simply so gentle, so humble, and ready to let go. A readiness to be. And nothing that we can take with us. What is going with us, only good or bad. And this good and bad only defines or will remain or will remember by the future generations. The Buddha, despite he passed away for 2,563 years ago, but because of his good work to promote peace and guiding people to be free from sufferings, problems, and finding a real happiness, millions of people, at least there are over 500 million Buddhists who dedicate themselves to be a Buddhist, a follower of the Buddha. And meanwhile, there are thousands of non-believers who still praise and respect him for his knowledge. And this is simply because his work that he had done. No conflict with anyone. And similarly, other faith groups like a Jesus, like a Muhammad, although there are some controversies and still well respected in their communities as a great person, as the Son of the God who had come on this earth to help human beings. And that's again because they have done this great job and we remember them. And we are one of them too. We can be one of them too. It's up to us in which way, which form, how. Sometimes it may take many eons of lifetime to develop in such a character in that way, or other times simply because of all the perfections has been perfected. It could be in this life. Sometimes we may not be wanting to be in such a great people or great figures on earth. At least we can do something, small changes. My understanding is that if I can change even just a one person for a good change from bad to good, their life become better. I feel I have fulfilled being born as a human. Think about it. We all born to perfect ourselves. And every step that we take, and if we are taking with a mindfulness, free from all the unwholesome activities, but every action that we take with full of love and compassion, generosity, empathy, sympathy, and a balanced mind, we're simply following the path to be liberated, following the path that lead us to be free. So the whole darkness and illusionary world will be dispelled. And realizing the true nature, true reality, appreciating the whole nature, everything. So, now this is time to depart. Depart to the bed to get a rest for tonight. Wish you all the best. May you have a wonderful sleep. Wake up with a great joy, smile, and happy. Good night.